Hello students, in this slides I am going to discuss how the refraction is taking place at the spherical surfaces. Refraction at the spherical surface, it is nothing but it is a part of a sphere we can see here, and it is made up of that sphere only. Concave spherical surface. It is the spherical refracting surface in which the surface whichever it is there, it is concave towards the denser medium and convex towards the rarer medium. Like this you can take, here denser medium is concave and rarer medium is convex. Therefore, the medium is related with optical medium. Therefore, it is related with concave spherical surface. Convex spherical refracting surface. It is the spherical refracting surface in which the surface is convex towards the rarer medium, like this. Towards the rarer medium, convex nature is there. Towards the denser medium, concave nature is there. In such cases, this particular arrangement of the spherical refracting surface is known as convex spherical refracting surface. Object space. It is the medium or a space which contain the incident rays. Image space, it is the medium or the space which contains the refracted ray. So the nomenclatures we need to see here, what is object space means, in which we are thinking object is there and ray is emerging out and incidence, okay. And to form the image, refraction is taking place, that is in a second medium. So where it moves and forms the image, that medium will become the image space medium. Convex spherical refracting surface. See, this is the arrangement where object is kept in a rarer medium and image is formed in a denser medium. And object, through that one the light is moving towards the spherical refracting surface, that means that is the incident ray, and refracted ray are forming the image. So object medium in which the object is space, which is known as the object space. Okay, so and refractive index of object space is nothing but in which medium the object is kept, that refractive index is taken as n1. And in the denser medium of refractive index n2, image is formed. Therefore we are calling the refracted ray wherever it is there, that forms the image, and that medium will become the image space medium. Okay, refraction at spherical surfaces. See, the point O is the object kept in a medium of refractive index n1. So n1 will become the refractive index of a object space, and when the ray is incidenting on that, so incidenting ray is coming from that object and it strikes at a point n on the refracting surface, which makes an angle I with a normal Cn. Due to the refraction, this ray bends towards the normal and an angle R is formed. Another ray from O travel along the principal axis without deviation, finally joining the point I as shown in the figure. That means the ray which coming from O towards the center of curvature, it will become the normal incidence. Therefore, for the normal incidence, normal refraction is the case. Therefore, it travel, and when both of these two rays are meeting at a point, the perception of object is appearing there. That is known as the image. So thus an image of O is formed at I. Let U be the object distance and V be the image distance from the pole respectively for this particular refracting surface, and alpha, beta, gamma are the angles made by the incident ray with the principal axis, the normal with the principal axis, and the refracted ray with the principal axis respectively. So in triangle NOP, tan alpha is equal to NP divided by PO. NP divided by PO. Similarly, in a triangle NPC, tan beta is NP divided by PC. And in triangle NPI, tan gamma is equal to NP divided by PI. For a small angles, sine angle and tan angle will become only angle. So here tan angle we are using, therefore tan theta is nearly equal to theta. So tan alpha is nearly alpha, therefore alpha can be written as Np divided by Po, beta can be written as Np divided by Pc, and gamma can be written as Np divided by Pi. From triangle NOC, if you see this triangle, here alpha and beta are the interior opposite angles for the exterior angle I. I is the exterior opposite angle. So I can be written as sum of the interior opposite angles alpha plus beta. I can be written here as alpha, we know the value, Np divided by Po, plus beta can be written as Np divided by Pc. This is taken as equation 1. Similarly, R and gamma are the interior opposite angles for the exterior angle beta. Therefore, R plus gamma is equal to beta. By this one, we can find out R as a beta minus gamma. And by substituting the value, beta will become Np divided by Pc minus gamma is Np divided by Pi. This is equation 2. So we got angle of incidence and angle of refraction in the equation 1 and 2 respectively. So from the Snell's law, N1 sin I is equal to N2 sin R. For the small angles, as I told, sin angle is also equal to angle. So sin I is nearly equal to I and sin R is nearly equal to R. N1I is equal to N2R. N1, where I value we got Np divided by Po plus Np divided by Pc is equal to N2 into Np divided by Pc minus Np divided by Pi. So N1 divided by Po plus N1 divided by Pc is equal to N2 divided by Pc minus N2 divided by Pi. Here we cancelled the Np both sides. Applying a Cartesian sign conventions to the distances, we know the rule for the image measurement and object measurement from the pole. Whenever we are taking the measurement in the direction of light, they must be taken as positive, and those taken in opposite direction, they must be taken as negative. So that rule we are going to apply here. So PO is the object distance, but pole to object distance we need to take, which is in opposite direction. Therefore, it will become minus U. Similarly, PC is in the direction of light, therefore it is plus, and that is the radius of curvature, that's why it is plus R. Pi is V, that is the image distance, and it is in the direction of light, therefore it is also positive V. So by substituting N1 by minus U plus N1 by plus R is equal to N2 by plus R minus N2 by plus V. Or by rearranging this, N2 by V minus N1 by U is equal to N2 minus N1 divided by R. This is the formula for the refraction through a spherical surface. Now, refraction by the lenses. Refraction by the lenses. Lens is an optical medium bounded by two surfaces, of which at least one surface is spherical. The meaning is, the lens is bounded by two refracting surfaces, in which at least one surface should be a curvature related. Another one, it may be curvature or a plane, not a matter. So it is considered as a lens. So optical device usually a part of a curved transparent medium which transmits and refract lights. Converging or diverging the beam is known as a lens. So types of a lenses: plano-convex lens. So one surface is plane, another surface is convex in nature. The family is convex, but one surface is planar. Therefore, the nomenclature we given here as plano-convex lens. Biconvex lens, or simply called as convex lens, which consisting of two surfaces both are convex in nature. Plano concave lens, where one surface is plane Another one is concave in nature. The family belongs to concave only, but one surface is plane. Therefore, we given the name plano-concave lens. Biconcave lens are simply called as concave lens, where both the surfaces are concave in nature. The common terms we are using in the lenses, we're going to study it first. What is lens? We will see first. So these are the two refracting surface which forms the convex lens, and 1 and 2 are the spherical surface of that lens. Draw imaginary surfaces which are forming the sphere like this, because two surfaces whatever we have taken, this is the part of a sphere. So now S1 and S2 are the two spheres which consisting of two centers which are known as centers of curvature. So what is the center of curvature? Centers of curvature is the center of the imaginary sphere which forms the given lens. Each lens has a two centers of curvature C1 and C2 respectively, where R1 and R2 are the radii of curvature. So radius of the curvature is the straight line joining the optical center and center of curvature. Now principal axis. Principal axis of the lens is a straight line passing through the center of curvature of the two spherical surfaces of the lens. As I told, the lens consisting of two spherical refracting surfaces, and there are two centers of curvature. Joining those two centers of curvature which passes from optical center is known as principal axis. Optic center. It is the geometrical center of the spherical lens, which is represented as O here, and through which the principal axis passing here inside the lens. Principal focus. It is the point on the principal axis where the parallel beam of a light converges in the case of convex lens, or appears to diverge from in case of concave lens. This is convex lens. The principal axis, the rays coming parallel to the principal axis after refraction from the lenses, they are actually converging at a point on the principal axis, which is known as a real focus. There are two foci for the single lens, and this is concave lens. This is a principal axis. Those rays are coming parallel to the principal axis. After refraction, they appearing like they are coming from one particular point. Hence, we are telling they are appearing like diverge from that particular point in the case of concave lens, which is known as virtual focus. There are two foci for the focus for the concave lens also as shown in the figure. Focal length. Focal length of the lens is a distance between the optic center and the principal focus of the lens. So this is the principal axis where O is representing optic center. The distance from optic center to focus is known as a focal length. So we can take this distance is a focal length. So in this case, concave lens, there are two foci again. So distance from optic center to focus is focal length. Note, in this case, the convex lens, the object AB is kept on the principal axis where two foci are there for any lens. O is the optic center. First one, the focus on the side of the original surface of a light is called as a first focus point F, whereas other is called as a second focus point F dash. Second point, the two foci F and F dash of a biconcave or a biconvex lens are equidistant from the optical center.